You're sitting across from a family at enrollment time. The parents slide a thick folder across the table. Inside are evaluations showing their child has a learning difference, like ADHD or dyslexia. It is a moment that carries a lot of weight. Public school districts have special education departments built to handle this exact moment. They have dedicated staff, formal evaluation processes, and federal funding backing them up. But a small, independent, or faith-based school is entirely different. You might be running on tuition, donations, and a single aide shared across multiple grades. Faced with that gap in resources, administrators often feel pushed toward two options. They might quietly hint that the school isn't the right fit, hoping the family looks elsewhere, or they enthusiastically accept the student but fail to actually adjust any of their teaching methods. Many of these schools are built on the conviction that every student is made in the image of God. If that's the starting point, then a learning difference isn't a problem to be avoided. It's an inherent part of who that student is. To live out that belief, the school must find a way to make the classroom accessible. Meaningful support for students who learn differently does not require a six-figure special education budget. Most of what genuinely helps them costs nothing at all. It simply requires a teacher's attention and a handful of deliberate structural choices made before the school year even begins. Let's picture a student named Leo. Leo struggles with focus and attention. In a standard, unmodified classroom environment, the constant movement of classmates and a high volume of visual noise can quickly leave him feeling overwhelmed. We can change that experience without spending a dime. The first step is modifying his physical environment. By assigning Leo a consistent seat near the teacher and away from high-traffic zones like the classroom door, we instantly reduce the distractions competing for his attention. Next, we address his assignments. Instead of handing Leo a single 50-question worksheet, a massive task that can cause a student's brain to simply shut down, we break that same assignment into small, manageable chunks that he can tackle one at a time. When we deliver these individual steps, we insert a brief pause before introducing the next one. That simple pause gives a student time to process the information, preventing the mental shutdown that follows losing the thread of long instructions. We can also support students who struggle with memory by posting a clear, visual schedule of the day's activities on the wall. When a student knows exactly what is coming next, we remove the anxiety that often surrounds unpredictable classroom transitions. Changing a seating chart, pausing between instructions, and posting a daily schedule do not water down the curriculum. These adjustments simply clear the traffic jam in a student's working memory so they can access the lesson. Support can also come from within the classroom community. Pairing a student with a well-matched classmate for specific tasks or tricky transitions creates a helpful peer buddy system.
It provides immediate, practical support without needing to hire an extra staff member. When it comes to testing, we often run into a different kind of barrier. You might have a student who perfectly understands the historical causes of the Civil War, but if they have dyslexia, a traditional written exam may not capture what they know. We bypass that barrier by offering flexible assessment formats. If the goal is testing historical knowledge, we can allow them to give an oral presentation instead of a written essay, or we can provide extended time to complete the standard test. This approach ensures the grade reflects their knowledge of the subject rather than their reading speed. The academic bar stays high. We have simply removed an obstacle that was preventing the student from reaching it. To fairly evaluate what a student has mastered, we have to separate their actual knowledge from the specific way they are forced to express it. Public schools use a thick stack of legal paperwork to manage a student's support. While a small school doesn't have that same legal requirement or the staff to manage it, the core idea, a clear written plan, is still within reach. This graphic shows how we can accomplish that on a single piece of paper. We write down the specific challenge in plain language. Then we list 2 or 3 consistent modifications, name the person responsible for implementing them, and set a specific review date to check our progress. That simple page guides a 5-minute weekly check-in. It allows teachers and support staff to confirm the strategies are working, ensuring the child receives consistent help across all classes. This plan also makes it easy to welcome outside help. A small school does not need to provide occupational therapy or clinical counseling in-house. Instead, teachers can partner with the family's private tutor, treating them as collaborators and inviting their strategies right into the classroom. By maintaining consistency, keeping simple documentation, and communicating openly with parents, a school can provide exceptional support without needing a dedicated special education department. However, we do have to acknowledge the limits of our resources. There are times when a student's needs, like requiring a dedicated one-on-one clinical aide every day, genuinely exceed what a small school can responsibly provide. Attempting to accommodate a need that requires specialized medical staff the school cannot hire will lead to a struggling child. Having an honest conversation with the parents right away and offering a clear referral to a specialized program is an act of grace. But for many students with learning differences, those small, zero-cost adjustments are all it takes. When we apply targeted strategies, that overwhelmed student we saw earlier becomes confident, capable, and eager to participate. Building a classroom where every mind is valued doesn't require massive funding. Meaningful inclusion is achieved through deliberate resolve, a willingness to adapt, and a few smart structural choices.